Good morning, everybody. Game time, Brian. There it is. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman, coming to you Monday morning, President's Day, to talk some football. Not necessarily Cowboys football, just all football. I only got one video up yesterday. Um, Went down the road to Maryland for a couple hours. I was home early, but I kind of got involved in some family things. So I'm back bright and early today. So we got a couple dates here. We got next Monday, a week from today, the NFL Combine starts. I will stream whatever they're going to do on that Monday. I believe it runs through Thursday. And I'll be doing videos at night as a recap of those next week, like every night. Maybe we'll do lives or, I don't know, we'll figure that out. But tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is the franchise tag window opens tomorrow. Now, I'm going to review some teams that you have to look at with possible franchise tag players. I don't know. I mean, let's start. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order here. Let's see here. Go back. See what we got here. Well, I'll just run down the list, peeps, in no particular order. Okay. Franchise tag. The Bills don't really have any franchise tag people that we would have to worry about. Not that we're worrying, but if you're a Bills fan, you really have nobody. In the past 6 seasons under general manager Brandon Beane, the Bills have never used a franchise tag. So don't expect that. They don't normally do that. Miami Dolphins, you got defensive tackle Christian Wilkins is an obvious first-round pick from 2019, turned his career season in obviously his contract year last year with 9.5 sacks. He possibly could be franchise tagged. New England Patriots, I like this kid coming out, a Kyle Duggar. I don't know that they're going to franchise tag him. They should work out a deal. I don't expect them to franchise tag him, but he's a really good in the box, safety. I like him. He's a physical guy. You can cover. I don't expect them to franchise tag him, but they're going to have a lot of money, so we shall see. New York Jets, Bryce Huff, defensive end. The tag is projected at 23 mil, which is steep. He played only 42% of the snaps. So he's a guy that probably won't be franchised and will be entering the final year of his deal, but we shall see with that as well. I don't know how the Jets think as far as that, but Bryce Huff is a candidate. The Ravens, Justin Madubuike, defensive tackle. I would be interested in him if he were ever available for trade or next year free agent. He'll be at the top of the list. They might possibly franchise tag Madubuike. Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins, wide receiver. Man, I don't know. You would think they would work out a long-term deal, but with Jamar Chase already in the fold, you're going to have to pay him big money. Don't think they're going to franchise tag T. Higgins. He could be a candidate for a team. Again, bringing it back to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, they only have one question. I know people want upgrades, but we got CeeDee Lamb. Okay, CeeDee Lamb's arguably the number one receiver in the league. Arguably, I'm not gonna say and argue. He's top 3 guy. If you ain't telling me he's top 3, then you're nuts. But that's me. Okay, he's getting paid. We got Brandon Cooks returning. I would do something to add a year or 2 to the deal, probably 1 year, but regardless, he is on a 1 year, $10 million deal. He will be here. He's only going to get better in this system. Then you have Michael Gallup. Now, I think Michael Gallup is a real candidate to be cut post June 1. I really do. And I think he's a good receiver. I really do. I would like to see him on a team where he gets more options, or he's a number two option. He's not a number two here, and he disappears at times. But it seems like in games where we need a big play, he comes up with it. So I think the Cowboys jumped the gun in signing him to what they did, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good player. I want to see, I've been on record as saying Jalen Brooks and Jalen Turner, the two Jalens, they need more playing time. And I think in order for that to happen, you might as well do something with Michael Gallup. So let me know what you think in the comments about cutting Micah Gallup. You'll save like $9 million, but there'll be a lot of dead money this year and next. You'll be paying him through next year. So let me know what you think. Don't expect Dallas to be getting any kind of high guy via high price receiver via trade or free agency. Not happening, and it shouldn't happen. There is one possible scenario where we get Keon, and we'll get into that. I'm going to do some mock drafts later this afternoon. Maybe I'll do one live at my lunchtime chat. The Florida State wide receiver could very well be there for us. I expect him to go a few picks before us, and I hope he does, because I don't really want to take a wide receiver there. I want to stick with offensive tackle or center. And I think we possibly, after doing some research, we might not have to move up. We most likely will stick and pick at 24, and that's not a bad thing. There's a lot of options, people. I think I get too worked up when I fall in love with a player. Jackson Powers Johnson, I love. But there's other centers. There's a center out of Duke. There's a lot of nasty offensive linemen. A lot of them are going to go before we even pick. So it'll be interesting. The guy that I projected to the Cowboys initially, Tyler Guyton, I think might be gone. So that's fine. All right, moving along. Cleveland Browns, they don't really have a franchise tag candidate. Looming free agents, they did pick up Zadarius Smith, if you remember, from the Vikings. Defensive tackle, Shelby Harris. Linebacker, Sion Taki. And running back, Kareem Hunt. Nobody there would be franchised. Steelers, no franchise candidates. They got, the looming free agents are Mason Rudolph, Marcus Golden, Miles Killebrew, his safety, special teamer, Quan Alexander, linebacker. So, no franchise candidates. We go to the AFC South. Jonathan Greenard, Houston Texans defensive end. I think he hits the open market. The only Texan free agent who would even make sense to tag is Greenard. He had 12 and a half sacks. The tag would cost $20 million, $247. Now, they have a lot of money. So they have to look at the draft. They have some good picks coming up, and they have to decide whether they want him or whether they take or you possibly trade him or extend him. So I wouldn't be interested in him necessarily speaking from the Cowboys. But interesting. I think they probably keep him on a long-term deal, bring the number down, no franchise tag, if I had to guess. Indianapolis Colts. This one's an interesting one. My son loves this player. He always seems to get him in fantasy. Michael Pittman Jr., wide receiver out of the Colts. They're not going to tag him. The Colts haven't used franchise tags since punter Pat McAfee back in 2013. They're not going to franchise tag him. He'll hit free agency next year, but who knows? Maybe he's like a trade candidate. I like the player, but not as a franchise tag. Jacksonville Jags. Josh Allen, outside linebacker. Allen's coming off the best season of his career, 17.5 sacks. He ranks 6th in pressures. I would expect them to try and extend him. If not, they will. They will, in my opinion, use the tag on Josh Allen. So let me know, any Jags fans, are you out there? There. Who really cares, right? I don't. But I expect him to, I mean, he's a hell of a player. So I expect him to remain with Jacksonville. Uh, but whether they get a long-term deal or not sure. You know, they could use the tag as a bargaining chip to still work on the player up until June 1. I'm not exactly sure on the date. Maybe I should have figured that out. But yeah, I think it's up to a certain date, and then you can't uh, lift the tag. He has to play under it. All right, moving along. Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry comes to mind, but the projected $12.4 million tag seems a little expensive for the Titans to use on Henry. They're not using it on Henry. He gone. Derrick Henry will be a free agent. Getting back to Michael Pittman. Yeah, he'll be a free agent. So that's my opinion. Denver Broncos, nada. Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is an interesting one. You saw how dominant this player was. L'Jarius Sneed, cornerback, made him some money this year / playoffs, more importantly. The cost of tagging Sneed, likely more than $18 million, would be difficult for the Chiefs to manage. So this move is hardly a given. They're going to try on a long-term deal. That's what they're going to try and do. And the Chiefs are normally good with moving money around, so expect that to be the case. Kansas City Chiefs may trade him. They may trade the kid. They may trade him and draft again. That's how you have. When you get to where the Chiefs are, when you're trying Super Bowl after Super Bowl, you want to try and keep your own. They can't keep him and a Chris Jones. So that'll be interesting. Maybe that's a trade candidate to move up. I mean, I don't know. They're picking 32 in the draft. Maybe they reload. Here. If I'm thinking in the Kansas City Chiefs head, you try and sign the player. But if not, you move up to get a guy like Arnold out of but I don't know what you would get for him because he's a free agent, right? So I don't know if you can get that. I don't know how that would work. Maybe you get a second-round pick, but not real sure. Interesting. But L'Jarius Sneed won't be tagged because of the money. I expect him to work out a long-term deal or be traded for whatever they could possibly get for him. That would be the smart move. Or if they think that somebody's going to sign him to a big deal, let me see this real quick. The Chiefs drafted 4 cornerbacks in 2022 and one more last year. So they've been preparing. So they have a lot in-house. So L'Jarius Sneed will probably hit free agency. That's probably what's going to happen. Josh Jacobs, running back. They went down this road last year. I don't think that's happening again. So I would say Josh Jacobs is going to be a free agent. I know a lot of Cowboys fans were talking about possibly signing him. It all depends how much money we could free up. It all depends how much money we can free up. But as you know, Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Cowboy, hopefully he's in his office, they're working on deals. Everybody's assuming the Dak deal is going to get done in a timely fashion. I don't think so. Nothing gets done with Dak in a timely fashion. I'd be shocked. But I'll make a video if I'm wrong. I will make a video and I'll admit when I'm wrong. But I think this could be an issue. But I hope not. I really do. As a Cowboy fan, I want to go into free agency with some money. And having a quarterback making $59.5 million on the cap next year is not conducive to doing that. So we shall see. Chargers, no candidate. Austin Eckler is not going to get. They're moving on from him. You got tight end Gerald Everett and a cornerback Michael Davis. So I don't expect any of that. Gerald Everett, I would love me some Gerald Everett. That would be an upgrade, but Dallas wouldn't do that. He's more of an older guy. They're going to stick with their young guys, like it or not. I mean, obviously I like Jake Ferguson, but meh. After that. All right. NFC East. This is where we're getting down and dirty. Believe it or not, we don't have a candidate. We sure as heck ain't franchising Tony Pollard again. So, We don't have a candidate. Um, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz, you know, he's gone. So tight end Dalton Schultz. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, they used it on Dalton in 22 and Dak in 20 and 21. They franchised Dak 2 years in a row. That's why I don't think the Dak deal gets done early. I would love for it to. If Dak wants a win, he would push to get it done. Or say, all right, fine, I'm playing on a tag. I'm no longer negotiating. Dak, please do that. Please tell them deal needs to be in place by the start of free agency or you're playing under the tag, the 59.5 mil. That's what I would do. That would be great leverage, Dak. Let me know what you think about my plan. Everybody in the chat, in the comments. Dak tells Jerry and Cowboy hard deadline before the NFL free agency because I want you to be active in getting what we need. In the negotiation, look Cowboy in the eyes and say that. And say, if not, I'm playing on the 59.5 mil. Don't call my representatives. I bet you a deal gets done. New York Giants, this is the big one. This is the big one. Eagles are the favorite to land this cat. I don't think they will, but per Vegas, Saquon Barkley is heading to the Birds if you were to bet on it. Saquon, I don't think they're going to use the cap on him. I actually think he's going to hit the open market, people. I don't think they're going to extend him. I think they need a lot, some other pieces. I think it would be smart for them to just draft another running back. So, Saquon, where are you going to end up, buddy? I kind of like you in Steeler black and gold. Let me know what you think about that. I like me some Saquon back home, up near State College, Pittsburgh. I like it. All right, moving along. Eagles, no candidate. No candidate. They hardly ever use it. The Eagles typically avoid using the franchise tag. Why? Because they have a general manager that gets things done in a timely fashion. Not always right. I don't care. Howie Roseman, don't think he's the best of drafters. But as far as the salary cap, he's second to none. And as far as contracts, I'll roll with Howie any day over Catboy. So the Eagles typically avoid using the franchise tag. Deshaun Jackson was the last to receive the designation in 2012. Think about that. There aren't any clear candidates this time around. Center Jason Kelce and defensive tackle Fletcher Cox are the most notable free agents. They're both gone, people. I don't think Fletcher's coming back. And Jason Kelce, who was it? Who were they talking to? They were talking to a fellow Eagle player. And they was, what are the odds that Jason comes back? And they said 100% no. So he's already talked to his team. He's talking to every media outlet about studio/booth jobs. I would imagine the studio guy, that would be a great fit. He just interviewed with Amazon. He's gone, people. I think Eagles are okay in that area with replacements. They're not going to be as good as Jason Kelce, but that's what happens. That's what happens. They're not going to be horrible either. So the Eagles will have, they will have to make some big decisions on running back DeAndre Swift and defensive end Brandon Graham, but the tag is too steep for either of those players. To me, I know Brandon wants to come back for one more year. What is that going to look like money-wise? I would let Brandon Graham go. He is a glue guy more so than Fletcher. I know people love Fletcher, but he's lost not one step, but 2 steps. Unless Fletcher wants to take a $4 million or, 2.5, and Brandon Graham will probably take a lot less to stay. So I expect Brandon Graham to be brought back. But I don't expect Fletcher to. So we'll see how that plays. DeAndre Swift, you would think they would want him back. I would expect him back. I think he deserves to be back. So stay tuned, Eagle fans. Washington Commanders, no candidate. You got the last year was Kirk Cousins and guard Brandon Scherf. I like me some Brandon Scherf, but ended up Scherf ended up leaving in free agency. So no, I don't think, well, not last year, but the last players tagged, there you go, was Kirk Cousins and Brandon Scherf. So don't expect Washington left hand up to make any franchise tag candidates. NFC North, moving on to the North. I like this guy. He was rumored to be traded to Dallas last year at the deadline. It wasn't, Dallas's cheap ass shit, probably because of this reason, because he was, and it was probably a good move. He was going to be a free agent this year. Jalen Johnson, cornerback. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. But I don't know. I don't know what their cap situation is. Earlier the offseason, general manager Ryan Poles said the second team all-pro cornerback is not going to go anywhere. So I expect him to be long-term dealed, but you might see him franchised out the gate in order to give them time to work on a deal. Stay in Chicago, Jalen. I think things are going to turn around. Detroit Lions have a candidate. That's how you know a team is doing wonderfully. You don't have guys entering the final year. No disrespect to the Lions, but notable free agents include C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Jonah Jackson, offensive lineman. Yes, please. Linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maben, and wide receiver Josh Reynolds. None of that makes sense. A little birdie told me, look out for C.J. Gardner-Johnson to be reunited with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, you heard it here. He wants to go back. They want him back. If they can work on a deal this time. Very surprised that they didn't get it done last year. He was a ball hawk in Detroit. Expect him to come home to Philly, which bodes. He's a bit of a gambler, but he's a ball hawk. He's kind of like the Trayvon Diggs of safeties. You know what I mean? Arguably the best one out there. So you're going to have to pay him, but if you do it on a longer-term deal, you can. Why not do it, Philly? If I were you, you need safeties big time. And still draft one. I would sign him to like a 3-year deal. But that's the rumor. Take it for what it is, a rumor. But I think it makes sense. Green Bay Packers, no candidate. Sorry. The Packers already took care of their big free agents for this class. They signed linebacker Rashawn Gary to a massive extension. You remember that? Last offseason or during the season. None of the other key free agents, A.J. Dillon. I also heard him rumored to be going to the Eagles if they let DeAndre Swift test the free agency market. John Runyon Jr. and safety Darnell Savage would come close to warranting the tag. I don't expect Savage to go anywhere. A.J. Dillon, I believe, is gone. Rumored to be going to Philly. I hear obviously I live here, so I hear all the Philly shit. So Minnesota Vikings, two obvious candidates are both ineligible for the tag. Kirk Cousins, can't do it again. And Danielle Hunter. I think Danielle might be coming to Big D. I know he's older, but he fit. I just think that it makes too much sense. The Vikings agreed to a no-tag clause to coax outside linebacker Danielle Hunter back to training camp last summer after a short absence in both cases. The Vikings would need to get a traditional contract done before March 14th in order to prevent an entrance into free agent market. So they have until March 14th to get a deal done with Danielle, come to Big D, buddy. To play for Zim. Which gets me to Dallas. I have this feeling like I'd have to look into it, the whole DeMarcus Lawrence contract and how he fits. I would like to keep D-Law regardless of his statement that he was tired. That was not a good answer, my man. I think you were caught off guard. But again, that's something to look at, everybody. That's something to look at as far as Cowboy fans are concerned. Are we keeping D-Law? Is he a post-June 1 cut possibility? And if he is, he's still got a lot of value. He's a nasty player, but he can't do it alone. He's not a Michael Parsons guy. He doesn't make. I mean, he's a guy when he's gone, you're going to miss him. That's why I don't want him to go. But if we could bring in a Danielle Hunter, I think Danielle gives you more pass rush, especially the way Zim likes to play his ends out wide. We'll see. We shall see. Stay tuned on D-Law. But we could keep them both. Maybe Zim wants Danielle Hunter, and he's willing to let what's his name go? Help me out with the name. The other end who plays special teams. Anyway, I'm moving along, but our own free agents. Armstrong, Dorrance Armstrong. Bang, got it. Nice pull. I think that's the. I think that I was able to pull that because I've been drinking my hydrogen. I've been drinking out of my hydrogen water bottle, and it's supposed to give you better cognitive function. Shout out hydrogen water bottle. But yeah, Danielle Hunter, you could keep him, not re-sign Dorrance, or sign him, and then let me know what Dorrance may get a deal that he can't refuse, and I would wish him well. Good player, but I'm not breaking the bank for it. Excuse me. All right, moving along to the NFC South. Atlanta Falcons have no candidates. Atlanta's free agents are Calais Campbell, edge rusher Bud Dupree, and Jeff Okudah are the top names. They just traded for Jeff Okudah last year. You would think they would want to get a deal done. He's getting a little long in the truth. But guys like Bud Dupree, he's kind of an undersized guy. Calais Campbell, old. Mark Holmes' guy. Let's bring in the Big D as a glue guy. Team-friendly deal. Catboy, it's right up your alley. All right, next guy. Carolina Panthers. This guy's a beast. No, he's not coming to Dallas, I don't believe. Brian Burns, outside linebacker, wants to be among the highest paid edge rushers despite a down season. He says he establishes value the previous few seasons. That's not how it works, Brian. He's a key player in a 3-4. So as of now, I don't know where we're going. He's only 25. He's estimated to make $23 million under the tag. If I was Carolina, I would move on from him and get the compensation pick. But or try and re-sign him. Do not tag him. Don't expect him in Dallas. Just keeping it 100. New Orleans Saints, no candidate. Guard tackle Andres Pete is the biggest name on a small list of unrestricted free agents this year. So nothing for the Saints. Tampa Bay Bucks, Antoine Winfield Jr. He's a safety for them. Remember, he came out as a corner. The Bucks have several high-profile free agents, including Mike Evans. I expect Mike to be gone, but you never know. Baker loves him. Baker Mayfield, I expect him back, and Antoine Winfield, inside linebacker Levante David. That's Levante David is a guy that I told you I am in on in free agency. This all hinges on our general manager doing his job and getting under the cap. Well, he'll be under the cap, but will be slightly under, or will he do what he has to do and re-sign Dak and get CD done and hit a bunch of levers and switches and bang, we're $50 million under like that. So give me some Levante David, but Winfield makes most sense as the franchise tag. I think you'll see Baker be re-signed on a deal, and Baker holds all the cards. He can get himself a longer deal. And Mike Evans should stay right where he's at, in my opinion. Don't know that he will. Maybe that's part of the Baker Mayfield. Hey, if you want me, get Mike done. So, again, the quarterbacks using leverage as they should, rather than be I hate using this word, but instead of being a company man, when you have leverage and you have authority, use it. Dak, I'm talking to you. Anyway, moving right along. NFC West, The Cardinals have no candidate. So that's fine. Little quick mock draft, just doing it myself. I expect the Cardinals to end up with Marvin Harrison Jr.'s or neighbors, but probably Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be a hell of a piece to add to that room. And Kyler Murray, who I thought looked good after returning from injury. The Rams moving along, no candidate. 49ers moving along, no candidate. None of the 49ers pending free agents fits the description as a franchise tag candidate. Defensive end, Chase Young is probably the biggest name on the list. Chase, come on to Big D, buddy. Head on down. But he isn't coming off the type of breakthrough season that would make him a must-keep. Yeah, he's interesting cat. Chase Young is an interesting cat. I feel like that's a guy that Dallas would take a shot on based on his talent, but he hasn't reached his talent. He flashed a little bit, but it's hard not to flash on that star-studded defense that the 49ers had that came up short. Shout out to Kyle. Hey, Kyle. Hey, Kyle. You should have deferred, buddy. Kyle, you should have deferred in OT. You might have won the Super Bowl. Wow. Anyway, Seattle Seahawks. This is where I want to poach from. No candidate. Defensive tackle Leonard Williams. My guy. That's one of my guys. In linebacker Jordan Brooks are at the top, are the Seattle's top two free agents. I wanted to go back real quick though. They don't bring him up, but oh wait, let me go back. Oh wait, we haven't gotten that far. Yeah, we have. Where are the Bengals at? I got to go back to the Bengals. I never talked about my guy. Yeah, they didn't even bring up DJ Reader. So that's my other guy. I want Leonard Williams or DJ Reader in free agency. Do it. Anyway, all right. Don't worry. I'm going back. I'm getting there. Rams have no candidate. There we go. Niners. There we go. We just talked about Chase Young. I think he's gone. Seattle, Leonard Williams and linebacker Jordan Brooks are the Seattle's top two free agents, and both are in line for big paydays. We need some Leonard Williams. Go get him. He's 30. I don't care. It's all about the guaranteed money. You sign him for a 3-year deal. Lock it in. Let's ride. Let's take that burden off of our shoulders in the first round or two. Go get me a Leonard Williams. He'll cost you more than DJ Reader, which is why I liked Reader, and I think Reader is maybe a better run stuffer, but doesn't give you as much pass rush. Just me, but Leonard Williams would be the all-around the guy that I want. So that pretty much wraps up everybody's potential franchise guys. Let me know what you think about the guys I said I wouldn't mind having. Getting Mike Zimmer might help us get Danielle Hunter. I'm going to dig into Danielle more and really look into his last couple years and see really what it's going to cost us. I will be doing a live stream, maybe not today, maybe tonight. I don't know. Stay tuned, people. But Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the Mailman, has got to go outside and get some things done. Hope you liked the video. Make sure if you're just seeing us for this first time, you subscribe to the channel. Definitely like and leave a comment. All right? Later, everybody. Peace. Late.